But Taylor Rogers, obviously, he's just put his name on that long list of, Padres closers that you're on, that have pitched well, and the closer hasn't really been the issue here. It's been getting from the starter to the closer, especially as of late. Steven Wilson, Robert Suarez, I think they have ERAs over 4 now. Wilson, obviously, it's his first year. There's going to be ups and downs. I know you know that. Are you concerned with them? And when you were struggling or a teammate was struggling, was there something different that you tried to do to get out of that funk?
The best thing is they always say in the bullpen, you got to have a short memory. You got to have a long memory, as in remember what you did wrong, but also have a short memory because you got to forget about what you did wrong. Really, I like the guys in the bullpen. I really do. Even, it's just, I'm all about defining a role. Like if you could say, hey, pitcher A or pitcher B or whoever you want to go, I don't want to say names because then all of a sudden I'll be linked to it. But you're our 7th inning guy. Now, our 7th inning guy is not going to be perfect. I remember back in the days of Clay Meredith and Scott Linebrink, they had, like a high 2 or a 3, sometimes a 4 ERA. But then they get into these stretches where they were just dominating for a month and their ERA would jump down to the low 2s or in the 1s. But they were our 8th inning guy. They were our 7th inning guy. And when I first came to the Padres, I was our 6th inning guy, and I kind of moved my way up. So I just really feel like they'll be better if we could define and say, hey, you're going to be our 7th inning guy. I just think if you define the guys a little bit more, I think they'll understand their role, and I think they'll do a great job.
Here's what I would say to that is I understand that point, and I like that point, but my question to that is, do they have a bullpen right now that actually would fit having defined roles? Because right now you have Gore and Nick Martinez probably in the bullpen this series. That changes some things. Then you have Chris Matt, who was a long man to start this year, and he was last year, but then he saw him in the 9th and 10th inning on Sunday, and it seems like he's going to get some more higher leverage spots, at least from what we're seeing. And then you have Steven Wilson, who's a rookie, and so do you have a defined role there? And Luis Garcia and Robert Suarez, they're both, I get what you're saying with the defined roles that could help them, but they're both up and down, and I don't know if it's their best interest right now to say, okay, Luis Garcia, you're pitching the 8th inning here, and then Roberts, but what do you do, the rest there, 6th, 7th inning, stuff like that. Like, I understand that point, but it feels like the lack of experience with Wilson and then Chris Matt not pitching in the high leverage situation, it feels like it would be hard to have those defined roles right now. And then you take into account that you have Castillo and Baez and Morajón coming back later this year. And Pomerantz, hopefully. So then you're going to put them into the bullpen. So that would be my only question to that.
Well, it's like Gore. He's a great starter. He needs to be a starter. Usually if you go to the bullpen, it's because, we need a long inning guy. This is the reason you need to come out of spring training with defined roles because, if your 8th inning guy doesn't have it, your 7th inning guy moves up and maybe your 8th inning guy takes a break or he becomes the mop-up guy, as you say. As we say in the bullpen, where it's very defined role, as in like we're down by 1 or 2, you're going to go out there and pitch where you're still good, but you just don't have it for what reason. And this is what happens when you can have young guys be in a 6th inning role or 7th inning role and be a meaningful role. And it's not that meaningful, but it really is to bridge that gap from the starter to your late 2 inning guys. But if you don't start spring training off with defined roles, you just go with the hot hand, this is the mess we have.